Hello, Mr. Pruitt. Can you hear me? No,
Wait, are you saying something?
I am.
I can't hear you. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, try again.
Hello, Mr. Pruitt.
Oh, hello. Sorry. My I was muted. And I didn't realize my volume was muted.
Good morning, Mrs. Allen.
Good morning,
Nobody's on
Mrs.
act up a little bit.
Bobby. Sister Moore. How'd the interview go?
Right, he got the job.
Look at where at.
Hey,
Look at God.
if you guys do coffee, you do cream,
Mm-hmm.
butter, nut, butter, but brown butter by Coffee Mate.
Mm-hmm.
Cream brulee is amazing. You don't even need to even add sugar to it. You just do whatever that cream is.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm. I declare. I declare. I did read aloud today. That birthday twin of yours. All over me like a cat. I was like, why are you crawling on me like a cat? Just sit down. Everybody know I'm your mama. Chill out.
Where were y'all at? Where were you
I
guys?
did a mystery reader at school.
You know what? That's one thing I do miss is volunteering at the school.
Go volunteer. I'm gonna put you on the list. Go volunteer.
No, not way out there. That's 2 hours away.
Man, we'll be all
I
over
might
me.
come so she could go. My aunt Tammy came to my school when I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm. I let her go shop at the book fair. She was a cheap shopper. I said, yeah.
At the book fair.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, anybody on yet? When you going back to the book fair? I need some pens.
This afternoon.
Listen, if they got pens like fun pens.
Mm-hmm.
This is my
I'll call you on
macaroni.
video. I have to go right after this call, so I'll call you on video while I'm there. You can pick out which ones you want.
Gumball pens. That's why I miss teaching. See my pens. It's a real
So
gumball.
serious. He's so
Oh,
serious.
that is fun.
I used to collect the pens from the book fair.
Ah.
The librarian talked me into one of the pencils. She's like, you can never break this lid on this pencil, nor can you ever break this pencil. I was like, sign me up. Give me a purple one. So I did buy a pencil. Or I will be buying a pencil. I'll let Nala shop. Bishop hasn't shopped yet. But I think I'm gonna have him get either the LeBron James or the Giannis book, just for chapter book purposes. Ask him questions about what he's reading, comprehension, understanding questions, and it'll be something fun. He likes LeBron James, so he may get that one.
Okay.
Okay.
LeBron's.
I was like, no books or toys. Nala tried to get one. I said, no, ma'am. No books or toys. There's a book, but she's a budding reader, like actually sounding out words, reading words, and
You
trying to keep
know,
this momentum going.
I have these big tablets I need to give you. They
Oh,
have
Tiffany.
Hey,
consonants.
Miss Portia.
Hi, Miss Portia. I bring them.
Oh,
I bring them.
I was telling my mom about Portia the other day. I
Uh-oh.
said, Portia's just one. No, no, it was good. I said, she's one of those people. You see her on camera, and she's so sweet. And just her southern charm.
Very.
I was like, and then I met her in person, and it was just like magnetic. I'm having to make my own yogurt
Oh,
parfait
wait,
this
we
morning,
can't hear you,
y'all.
Portia.
Oh, you can't?
Okay, wait, now I
We
can hear
got
you.
yes, now we
Oh,
can.
okay. I was gonna say I really am not that sweet. Right.
You really are. You're sweeter than
It's
just
an
yogurt.
effort. I work on it. No, it's the authenticity that you're mistaken for sweetness. Uh, Yeah.
Definitely authenticity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Miss Anika, what's a win? Give us a win.
After this coming weekend, I will be normal. I feel like I've not been normal and been able to string 2 weekends together since the beginning of May.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to potty training my 2-year-old. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend.
He's
We're gonna
already
sit
potty
on a.
trained.
She is, but she's never done it in panties. We're gonna put her in these panties. We're gonna sit downstairs because we don't thank children for soiling themselves over here. So
Correct.
we're gonna sit down in our
Hmm.
panties and we're gonna soil ourselves and be like, Mommy, I don't like this wetness. I know. So let's go back to the potty. She's been potty training herself since she was like
He's been
18, 19 months. But we haven't
yes.
been home consistently enough to
Or
let her go through the process. So I'm confident Halloween weekend will be it.
yeah,
I'm
she
confident and I believe in you, and it worked. It took first of all, these new kids are different anyway.
Oh, different.
Miss
And
Portia, very different.
different. And number two, girls are much easier when it comes to potty training.
Mm.
Just the fact. You have to get, like, boys need a little more focus, they just need a little more focus. Right? They're like, oh, a toy. Right. But
They
girl,
feel like what toy?
I've done both and I've observed this. And my daughter, I think we just did 2 days of like wearing straight panties
Hmm.
and a little sundress. And we kept the potty right there. And you go to the potty, and as soon as you go to the potty, you can come out and get a cookie. I don't care what you do. But, right? And it just took us maybe about 2, 3 days.
That's what I'm
And
hoping for.
she's about to be 13. She would have a conniption fit if she knew I was telling you her business. But at almost
Hey,
13,
that's what moms are for.
it is. She has never once peed the bed.
You know what? I was telling the librarian I'm doing book fair at the kids' school today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think we have done not well, I guess it is wetting the bed. Peeing straight through the pull up.
Mm-hmm.
It happened maybe one time for each one of them, and they were just devastated. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
with the boy, he would stand in front of the TV and just pee on himself, not in the bed. Not I said, you just gonna stand there on purpose and just pee on yourself? Okay,
Look what
I
I can
got you.
make it do. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Not poop.
It's
Who
just
would stand there and pee on himself?
Right.
So I was like, I'll take it. But some people, I feel bad for some clients. Their kids are so much older and they're still soiling the bed every single night. I'm like, one each, I'll take that. I
yeah.
take that. Thankfully, it wasn't an ongoing thing. I had the mattress protectors. Nobody's mattresses ever gotten ruined. I was like, I'm here for it.
Also,
But we didn't
Miss
make,
Anika, what'd you
what's it
do
say?
this past weekend? Did you have any
Oh,
wins this
yeah.
past weekend?
Man, I just told you I'm done with all these speaking engagements because nobody's paying me for and spending all this money.
That
I,
part.
s- I spoke at the third annual Health and Wellness Fair with Opulence Health and Wellness here in Houston.
I remember you
Um,
doing that.
yeah, Dr. Tamika Cross. I guess I just have to say Google her at this point. Um, she was the OB on the Delta flight who was asked for her credentials when a man was in distress. And she's like, what do you mean, my credentials? Didn't you just tell me you need a doctor and this man needs help? Then eventually a white man stands up and he says, I'm a doctor. And they don't ask for any credentials and they let him help the man. So she just became I guess, a national phenom with all her interviews and her book and,
Mm,
magazine interviews. So uh, she's put it on. And she did a great job. I was like, each year has gotten
Hmm.
better. So it was great.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Alan
So
got
you were a
Alan almost
panelist
got a
and got
move.
to speak.
You don't want me to tell the Thundercat story? Okay, I'll leave it out.
Talk to me about a Thundercat. Woo.
Baby, this 71-year-old was about to can't walk, but was about to climb across this table to get to Alan. I said, "Come get
Let me tell y'all something. I ain't married, and at the rate I'm going, I'm gonna be a Thundercat.
But you ask if he's married, you talk to his wife, high five his wife, and still
She
have the
said she ain't
audacity
got
to
much
say,
time.
"Oh,
She said she
Okay,
ain't here
baby,
for a
she said
long
she
time. She here for a good time.
okay. But
Yeah.
hey, look, if you
it
want to
was."
join in.
She
'Cause
took about
hey,
4 of my pens on my vendor table. I was like, "Ma'am, I got to
She
pay for
kept
this
coming
too."
back around to the
That
table
is
She kept
taking
coming.
pins.
hilarious.
I was like, "Alan, go get a woman a hug and let her smell you real quick. Just she'll pass out.
See,
Just go ahead, let
rub
her
some
smell you real quick."
pheromones on her.
There you go. There you go.
That's
Oh boy,
hilarious.
that was a trip.
That was a win. I survived the health fair with
You did.
your
You
cougar,
did.
your mountain lion.
Miss Portia, what win do we have, young lady?
You know, hold on, let me come back. I'm multitasking. Let me see, look
Hmm.
at y'all's faces while I'm telling this story. Um, wins. I was away this weekend and it wasn't for work. So, Anika, I understand how you feel. I just went out of town, went to Shreveport to see Wanda Sykes. And it was so good
Nice.
to just go for a reason. I, like you, have also had this revelation that this speaking for free, I'm done. I'm done. I just sit here and create digital products and mind my own business because while you get a little tax write off, my accountant taught me that. When I think there are other ways, or I think now instead of what I really did learn, because I had time to process on this trip, because I didn't have to be anything for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Is I think I would just do better at some of these having a vendor table and coming away with 2 or 3 clients than
Mm-hmm.
I would speaking for absolutely free, where you
Mm-hmm.
only have limited exposure to the people in your sessions and blah blah blah. So I think I'm gonna shift into that space where I didn't see where it made sense to pay $300 or $400 for a table. Now
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense because if I get 2 clients, I can have that paid for by the end of the month.
The thing you want to think about there, and this is what I always kind of try to people to break down, is that think about the lifetime value of a client and how much on average each one of your clients will bring you for the lifetime that they're with you. So whether that's three, and everybody should have at least a loose calculation on this. And this is probably something I need to go into on a session, but like, hey, how many clients do you have? What's your average retention rate of that client? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years? You know what I mean? Everybody's a little bit different. Every niche is a little
Mm-hmm.
bit different, but trying to get that average length of time a client is with you and what's the average amount that they pay, that gives you a loose idea of, hey, this is my lifetime value of a client. So, to your point, hey, if I'm going to an event and I land 2 clients out of that, and let's say my
yep.
lifetime value of a client is 5 grand, well, for 2 clients, 10 grand to pay $400, that's a win. You see
I'm
what I'm
getting
saying? So,
better.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I
Oddly
love that.
enough, I haven't paid for any of my vendor tables. All these events, most of these events I'm speaking at, they're
Uh-huh.
giving me a vendor table with me being on their panel.
Okay. And
So that
so
is
maybe
something to think about.
yeah, a
Hmm.
more specific, but it is the name of the game is specificity. Oh, here's my other win. If I may have to. Y'all
Please.
know I had been doing a lot of work with neurodivergent, high functioning Black women and had been working with another therapist on that. And through some of our strategy sessions and her doing her own work and me doing mine, she came to the conclusion that she needed to redirect her energies and efforts to something that she was more passionate about. And she released to me without reservation all the work that we have done up to this point and told me I could have it. The content, the money, everything.
Oh wow.
I was like,
Wait,
you want to
Portia,
get rid
was
of me
this
that bad?
is this Brandy?
Yeah,
Okay. Yep, yep, yep.
yeah. Um, But I'm grateful because
Yeah.
it is a space where I thrive, and I've done a significant amount of work, and I appreciate watching her say, I can't do this anymore because, right? Not because I'm hard to work with, but just because she wants to pursue
Never.
her own passions. So I consider that a win
Yeah.
for us. Yeah.
That is a win. That's awesome. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Brandon, you got a win. Welcome. Oh, can you hear us, Brandon?
He was in there.
Y'all see me? Hello?
Oh, yeah, there we
Hear
go.
you.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, I was saying, what's your win? I know you got a big event coming up this week.
I do. I do. So the fact that it's happening is still my big win. Also my birthday is coming up this in 3 days, so I'm looking
Hey,
forward to that.
happy early birthday.
Thank you.
And also, Brent, I need to shoot you an email because I think I'll be able to come by
Uh-huh.
on Saturday. So I want to get
Okay.
some details from you.
Okay. For sure.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, that is a huge win. Miss Kendra, Miss Erica, hello. Either one of y'all have a win you want to share?
Hi.
Hey.
Let's see. My win is I guess more about my efforts over the last 2 weeks. So I got some more practice brochures out in the mail to some medical and psychiatry practices in the area. And I also blocked off 3 hours next Thursday to go out and do some face-to-face marketing. I've pinpointed some organizations and doctors' offices that I want to visit with some postcards, business cards, and some Krispy Kreme. So hopefully that'll win them over, a little Krispy Kreme.
I love it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Trying to be a little more intentional.
Yeah, no, that's good. Hey, just as Portia was talking about specificity, when you have, specific, niche, specific clients, then you can, reach out to specific referral partners. Where are those people coming through? Hey, go visit them. Hey, let's set something up that's mutually beneficial. So, congrats on that, Kendra. That's awesome.
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Reevy, what we got? What's our win? Are we fresh back from New York?
Yes.
Oh, how was it?
How
It
was
was
Hamilton?
it was amazing. It really was. It was amazing. Yeah, I liked it. It was a good time. Got some good food. Did a little shopping.
Wait,
So
pause. Where'd y'all go? Because when it asked where you guys were going to go at first, you hadn't mapped it out yet.
I hadn't. We actually
Where'd you
kind
go?
of just looked up. So we went to Carmine's. I went to this yesterday was one of my favorite. Went to this I went to this bagel shop. It's called Bagels to Sandwich. We went to, hold on, let me look up this other place. We went to they had singing Broadway, like at the restaurant. While you were eating, they sing too. Um, that was, what was the name of that one? That was Gail's Broadway Rose. But the restaurant, I think it's called Friedman's. We went there. That was good. And like they legit are singing. It's like they have it a couple days a week, but they legit sing and do like off Broadway while you're eating. We went
Wow.
to where else did we go? Yesterday we went to a pizza place before we left that was really good. That one was called Don Antonio's. And she like the owner of that like had like one pizza of the year person from like 2024, I think. So and they had you ever had deep fried pizza? Never had, me neither.
No.
So they have a deep fried pizza and a deep fried calzone. That was really good. It was really good.
I was gonna say, how'd you like them? You like both of them?
I liked all of them. Carmine's is really good too because it's a family style, but the portions are huge. So we went there. We did a sugar factory, which I'm never impressed with the sugar factory. Cam had never been, so we did it, but yeah. So it was good food. Hamilton was great. My win is I hired another therapist part-time in Louisville. And I'm excited because I'm going into this with some boundaries in place that I am set. Like this is going to be my first hire where I'm doing things differently. So I'm really looking forward to it where like I made it. She is she has to get her own outside clinical supervisor. I will not be doing her clinical supervision. And then I've already even had I know some of y'all met Asia. So Asia will be her direct agency supervisor. So I'm taking myself out of the equation from the very beginning.
Perfect.
And so I'm really excited about like this transition and being able to bring people in and them not think that they can just call me.
I love it. That is a huge win. Awesome. Look at you. Personal wins, business wins, just winning all over the place. Fantastic. Well, let's jump right into it because today we are going to be talking about one of the most important pieces of running a business, and that is cash flow. Making sure we are managing cash flow ups and downs because I mean, just being honest with you, it's probably inevitable where you have some type of fluctuation of cash in a business, whether you are solo, especially if you have a group and you're running, payroll. We want to learn some good cash flow management tips. So let's jump in and talk about some ways that we can not only survive but thrive through cash flow crunches. All right, let me see. I think y'all can see my screen, right? Wait, yes. Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So surviving and thriving through cash flow crunches. So of course, cash flow is one of the most, and actually we talk about business, but just in life, honestly, having cash, not to go back and quote old hip hop songs, but as they say, cream, cash rules everything around me. So, either you have it or you don't. Um, and so in a business, you're going to get cash that comes through, but there are going to be times where you're going to have some cash flow crunches. And especially as we, get to the end of the year where maybe clients are a little bit slower. And I don't know, for you guys, it's kind of probably it's probably give and take where it is the holidays. So, you typically probably have an uptick of people that might be reaching out. But then again, it's the holidays. So you're probably taking time off as well. Or if you're like Portia, you have a set sabbatical, at the end of the year where, hey, I'm not working. And that's okay. And I'm gonna deal with it. So whatever the case might be, we need to be mindful and make sure that we're navigating any kind of dips in cash and just making sure that we're in a good spot, overall to make sure we have a good cash cushion. So of course, this does not mean, your business is failing. It means your business is normal. As I said, every business goes through ups and downs in cash. The biggest thing that you want to do is make sure to understand what's coming in, try to keep that, that bare minimum in your bank account. And actually what I suggest is moving it over to a separate bank account. You guys know we've talked already about bare minimum. You need at least two different bank accounts. I actually like three or four, but with that third one really being setting aside, kind of some savings, and the fourth one being, hey, maybe setting aside profit. You guys know we love, helping clients with profit first. For those who like doing that, but we definitely like breaking up some of the cash flow into different bank accounts. So definitely want to have a tax account, but I kind of like having that separate account for, that rainy day fund, so to speak. So also you have to know know your ebbs and flows, and when you guys hit your different seasonal slowdowns. As we talked about this summer, typically I know most therapists usually have a slowdown in the summer. But we talked about this year, and not many people had much of a summer slowdown this year. Um, Now, has anybody noticed anything slowing down so far this year? And at least in October. I know it probably hits more so in November around Christmas and Thanksgiving, but has anybody noticed any slowdown yet thus far?
Yeah, I have,
You
but
have, Brandon?
it's unusual mostly because it's all the layoffs and the government shutdown and people who's not
Yeah.
getting paid. So it's an unusual time to be.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Anybody else notice any slowdowns or kind of give me your idea on do you guys normally see a slowdown at the end of the year, or is it just, hey, I'm taking time off and of course, I'm seeing it having less sessions, so on and so forth? Or is it that for most of y'all? You about to say
It,
something, Nika? Wait, go ahead. Who else was
No,
saying something?
I was gonna say I actually do the same thing that Portia um does. So for me, I feel like I've been doing that for like 6 years now, where I'm off usually mid-December to mid-January, intentionally. But the business, and then I give my employees, well, this year, not this year, but in the past, I've given pay holidays. This year, I kind of was like, you can bank your holidays and then take them off as you see fit, or you can do unpaid. So I do feel like we see a difference towards the end of the year because a lot of them like to
Mm-hmm.
just be with their families.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Yeah, and I know that it's, gonna be a thing that we all have to manage. But, once again, it's, if you plan for it, if you know it's coming, then it's definitely manageable. Anybody else? Was anybody else gonna say something?
I was gonna say like the slowdown part
Mm-hmm.
in a certain sector, like the brief solution focused therapy, basic anxiety, and that things have kind of plateaued.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as my niche, my specialty, no, because the worse the geopolitical, socioeconomic climate is, and the more good people are by that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or they're trying to lean in. But at the same time, what Brandon said, I work with a lot of people who are government employees. Now, the catch there is that often they don't want having a mental health professional on their history or profile or radar, so they are often willing to pay cash.
Mm. There we go.
Because there's no insurance record, there's no this, that.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Right. You can handle it straight up. Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Yeah. So really, I just kind of want to give you guys something to think about, especially as we hit the holiday season, and then just good practices to have, moving forward, just making sure you have a strong, cash flow basis for your practice. All right. So, we kind of went over this, why it happens. It's, typically normal cause, in business, whether it's, people are out for the holidays, whether you're out for the holidays, your team is out, everybody wants to take, time off in Q4. Delayed insurance payments, as y'all know, but that's a that's an all year thing. That is definitely not a this time of year thing. That can happen any shape, way, form, or fashion. Now what could change also is increased personal spending. As y'all know, Christmas time and whatnot, making sure that we're getting gifts, but don't want to naturally overspend. That's why I think budgets are always important for for the holidays to make sure that you are in a good spot overall. And then of course, naturally just, reduce hours or sabbatical. If you're just taking, a month off, a few weeks off at the end of the year, which is good as we talked about last time, is, both Portia and Erica, mentioned, like that's just good practice for your own mental health, to do, where it just kind of needs to be done. But let me ask y'all this. So as we look back, and then, I know you probably don't have these numbers in front of you, but I say looking back at your last 6 months of revenue, when do your income dips typically happen? Does anybody know? Does anybody normally see a summer slowdown? As I mentioned, I know this year we didn't have many people who did. We just talked about some of the end of the year, but does anybody have any other kind of patterns that they realize that, might be a little bit of slowdown in their practice?
July, end of July. Well, let's say after 4th of July and
Mm-hmm.
before September the 1st. Back to
Back to school time.
Mhm.
Yep. Anybody else have any other ones?
I lose my adolescents over the summer. I either lose them entirely or it drops down to maybe like once a month versus the weekly or bi-weekly schedule that they've been on throughout the school year.
Um, can you remind me again, what all do you see? What's your specialty in your adolescence?
Mood disorders and mood disorders, trauma, and self-esteem for adolescents.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep, that makes sense. I see it, especially with, young kids in school, so on and so forth. Okay. So, to me, if we recognize these patterns, if we know kind of, the way our business is going to shake out over the year, then naturally, hey, let's be a little bit, proactive and line some things up to, kind of supplement when those things hit. Now, here's a few different financial safety nets. I think they all have their places, but just to kind of give you guys a little bit of information on it, as we all know, credit cards. Um, who does not have a business credit card that's on here? Does everybody have one? Does anybody not have a business credit card? Everybody has a business credit card?
You tell him now, he's gonna hound you about it.
I don't have a business credit card. I have a debit card. But
Portia, you're on his list now.
I mean, it figures. It tracks.
I just got off his list. I just got off.
And if you just got off, it's no hope for me.
Yes. Well, I am a firm believer that I think every business needs a business credit card, because I just think of it this way. I'm a fan of free money. And to me, when you're running your one, a fan of free money, two, having a financial safety net at the same time. So to me, a business credit card is the first line of doing that. One, hey, if everything is going well in your practice, if you're just typically using your bank account, you're paying, hey, money's there, I need this, pay it off. Hey, I have these subscriptions coming through, this software cost, so on and so forth. Then, if we put those exact same things on a credit card and just pay it off within, a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, then guess what? You're getting rewards and points. You are actually the hated enemy of credit card companies, because you're taking their benefits and giving them nothing back. So to me, getting that 3 to 5% on everything that you spend is huge. To me, that adds up in the long run. So that's why I like business credit cards. And you can also get really good rewards, on business credit cards. So there's a lot of perks there. But hey, if all things are going great in your business, then you're never giving them anything back. You're never paying interest because you're paying it off every month. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm a huge fan of having most of your recurring expenses running through your business credit card, and then just paying it off like it's your regular bill. if you're running it right, there's no difference between a debit card and bank account versus your credit card for most of your, ongoing monthly expenses, but you get the added bonus of getting some of those benefits. Um, Next thing, of course, as we know, there's business loans. Where, hey, if you have, large purchases, something big coming up, we can always take out loans. Not something that you want to do just ongoing, but hey, sometimes life business dictates that we need to do it. And if so, hey, I think it's best to do that ahead of time. If you have a feeling that, something's coming up. So perfect example, we have clinicians who are expanding. And so, hey, if you're expanding, you're opening a second location. We love trying to cash flow that, ourselves, but the reality of it sometimes is that we need a business loan to do that. And so I think that's where those come in handy. My most favorite thing to do, or I guess technically second favorite, I think everybody needs a credit card. But I'm also a firm believer that everybody needs a line of credit for their business too. Because what a line of credit does, it kind of blends the credit card with the business loan together. So it's flexible and it's there when you need it, but you don't ever have to pay anything on it until you use it. It is true, as we talk about having a financial safety net, it is truly just a financial safety net that's there when you need it. So, does anybody actually have a line of credit for their business? Does anybody have one? Nobody?
I do through Gusto.
Through Gusto? Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And literally, like you said, I only it like if I ever needed it for payroll, it tells me how much I can get, and then like how much my interest would be and how long. So I have it through Gusto, and then
Okay.
I also do a net account with is it Quill? I think it's Quill.
Okay.
With them.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Yep. I think everybody needs one, but especially if you're running a group and you're running payroll, I think it's a must. It's a financial must because think about it. There's no downside to applying for a line of credit, to having one, just having it sit there, applying for it when you don't need it, when things are great, and it just sits there until, you need it. Hopefully you never do, but as we know in life, the more things change, the more things stay the same, the more they change, right? Am I saying it backwards? Y'all get what I'm saying? Is that the change is inevitable. And so, hey, things might be going great, but let's make sure we have, we plan and are proactive and have that line of credit there. And so, especially if you're running payroll, I think it's a absolute must. But I think honestly, even if you're solo, I think it's helpful to have for slow times, down times to make sure you have a line of credit. That's good to know about Gusta though, because I actually don't have them on my list. I need to look further into theirs. But I kind of went into this just a little bit, but I mean, why I think every business really needs a line of credit because I think it's very underutilized, but yet it's really one of the most valuable because the biggest piece of it is you don't have to pay anything on it until you actually need it. So unlike an actual loan, you're paying, when you take out an actual loan, hey, you're paying that interest every month. You have those structured payments, so on and so forth. Okay, hey, you have the cash, but you're having to, pay interest back on that. With a line of credit, you don't pay anything on it until you have to, withdraw from it. Just sits there in the background as a little bit of a cushion. So of course, having that cushion during, low revenue months when, hey, maybe you have a few more cancellations than normal. Maybe you have a few people that are off, as we talk about during the holidays. Hopefully we're planning for that ahead of time. But, once again, life happens. To protect your personal finances, this is really good because it really helps keep your business expenses separate from your personal expenses, because, as you guys know, with LLCs, with PLLCs, we want to keep those as separate as possible. Of course, there are times when, hey, when you first started your practice or ongoing, if you hit a cash flow crunch, sometimes you need to transfer personal money over. But we would much rather have that line of credit there that we can leverage and utilize from that standpoint, and use that. And then, of course, covers essential operating costs, payroll, rent, insurance, marketing. And then that way you don't have to deplete your savings for it. And then once again, easier to qualify when you're strong financially. When you have revenue, when everything looks good, when you don't need it, it's the best time to get it. As they say, the best time to get a new job is like when you have a current one. Same thing with loans. The best time to get a line of credit is when you don't actually need it, and just to have it there as a little bit of a cushion for you. So I have a few different ones, and that's why I say I need to look into the Gusto one. But here's just a few options of some popular ones to look into. Blue Vine, they have one. Of course, this all depends on on your business credit, on your personal credit. But as I mentioned, if you look at these things now, this is the perfect time to apply for one when you don't need it. And hey, you could probably, depend on your overall revenue, it's not difficult to get a, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 line of credit, that just, sits there in case you need it. And so yeah, so Blue Vine, pretty easy, simple process. And you do have to show some revenue history, of course, and then they'll, kind of tell you the amount. Lendio is a kind of like one of those marketplace platforms where you can compare multiple lenders. But it kind of saves you time because it gives you a few different ones all at once, that you can look into. Fundbox, quick approval with smaller credit lines, maybe 3, 5, 10K, something like that for, solos, but pretty fast funding there. And then you can always look at your main banks. So if you have a good solid, banking relationship, I would suggest looking at your own bank. So Wells Fargo, they offer really good lines of credit, but same thing if you bank at, Chase or Bank of America, look at their line of credit options to see. And then US Bank is also another one that gives you kind of some flexible terms for banks as well. So a few different options for you guys to kind of look into, just to see, kick the tires on. But once again, I absolutely think that everybody certainly needs one. And here's your action item. Here's your homework. Let's look into getting a business line of credit while you don't need it, to just kind of have it sitting there on the side. And then, of course, lenders view applications more favorably when your finances are strong, i.e., the times when you don't need it. So, a few things that you'll probably need to apply. Now, every lender naturally is a little bit different, but usually they do want to see your financials, profit and loss statements, bank statements, so on and so forth, for the last 3 to 6 months sometimes. I've seen them as low as 2 to 3 months. Once again, just really depends on the lender. As y'all know, if you need any help with that, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to, pull those, send those to you if you need to, just run them all together. We normally send them out by month. But if you just want to put the last few months together, we can certainly do that. EIN, of course, business registration documents like your LLC info. Now, here's the thing. Now, business line of, even though it is for your business, more than likely you will still have to do a personal guarantee with your own personal credit score. So this does usually mean that you need pretty decent credit to get the best rates personally, personal credit to get the best business rates. Once your business gets to a place where and actually this is good because this can help build your business credit too. So if you get to a place where we actually are building business credit, then that is very helpful because then the business can eventually stand on its own. But especially for those of you who haven't gotten one before and don't have a business, full business credit profile, then this will actually kind of help start that. So that's good. And then of course, if you have an established banking relationship, that's good. That's why looking at your own banks is helpful to start. And of course, proof of income and showing revenue stability. Um, any questions on lines of credit, on credit cards, on loans? Anybody have any questions on that so far? Not so much? Everything making sense? All right. All right. So, how do we build a profit cushion? So, of course, a line of credit is like your emergency backup that just sits there. We don't want to run with it unless we have to, but we still want to make sure we have that box checked. But first line of defense is just having a little bit of extra cash, in the bank. This is where I say having that separate bank account comes in handy. Um, does anybody have who all has a business savings account right now?
I do.
You do? Kendra, you
Mhm.
do? Portia, you do?
Yes.
Okay. Erica, do you have one?
No, that's the thing I need. I need to get in multiple accounts.
Yeah. Yes, yes, ma'am, you do.
Yeah, feel free to put some more money in there. I mean, the account is there. It's waiting and available for money.
Understood. What about you, Brandon? Do you have a business savings yet? Okay. All right. So we got some homework for y'all. So because we talked about this a few weeks ago when we talked about the bank accounts, the tax savings accounts. Um, because I think we all need at least three. Like I say, I prefer four, but at least three, where we have your main operating account, we have your tax account, but then now we kind of have a business savings account where we're kind of setting up that cash cushion, so to speak. Um, and so we need y'all to set up these two bank accounts. So your tax account and your savings account, but then also look at some options for lines of credit too. So start applying for that now when you don't need it, just so you have it in your back pocket. Um, but here's some things to do on, kind of calculating that profit cushion. Um, I like having at bare minimum 1 month of business expenses. Bare minimum. Although I prefer 2 to 3. But hey, we got to start somewhere. Um, it's something is better than nothing. So hey, even if it's just hey, I could set aside, $150 a month. I could set aside $300 a month, into that other business savings account. Hey, let's start somewhere and start trickling some money into there. But to figure out what that 1 month of business expenses is, we need to know what your average monthly business expenses are. So, of course, if we're doing y'all's books, if we're doing your bookkeeping, we can, easily let you know that. But you can also look at your, P&L. Just take this month, average those business expenses, and that gives you the your average, because this is, hey, what's your rent? What's your utilities? All your subscriptions. If you currently have loans, if you have staff, of course, payroll is the biggest expense you'll have. Um, and so we need and don't forget your quarterly expenses, because not everything's monthly. Or I know sometimes you guys have annual expense as well. So just looking at that, or even just looking at your running last 12 months. And once again, if you need our help with this, just let us know. We can look at your last 12 months rolling and give you what your average business expenses were with that. And so then, hey, you got to go and open up your savings account, your kind of profit cushion savings account. And like I say, this should be separate from your operating account. Don't think that you're going to leave it in your operating account and count it as your savings. That's why, to me, it has to be in a separate account, which is also why we say, hey, the tax account too has to be in a separate account. It's just To me, I say there's too much commingling. You see it in there. It's just not clear cut that it needs to be separate. Um, and then I like automating transfers. Hey, let's start, like I say, if we have to start with just a few $100, sure. Hey, start with $100, at least it's something. But hey, 5 to 10% of profits, I think is a really good start. In the community, we have a couple resources. I've gone over them before, but we have some estimated expenses percentage wise on, hey, this is how much you should be spending on overhead. This is how much you should be spending on profit, depending on your practice size. So please feel free to take a look at that. If you have questions about it, it's in the community, but we can point it out too if we need to. And hey, here's the great thing. When we have those high income months, let's take some of that and set it aside. I've gotten a few emails from people like, "Hey, this is a great month. Hey, what should I do with this?" You know what I mean? And so this is, I think, where you start. Making sure you kind of set some of that aside. Um, and then, hey, if you do have to use some of your profit cushion, treat it like a loan that you're paying back to yourself. And try to repay it as soon as you possibly can. If you do have to take something out. And then to me, it's just, I think having both of those gives you a good financial foundation that gives you some financial peace, a little bit of stability there. So if you have that line of credit, hey, you go through Bluevine or wherever you go through your own bank, hey, they give you a $15,000 line of credit. Hey, nice. That's just sitting there in your back pocket. Hopefully we never need it, but we know life, so it's nice to have it there. But then, hey, let's start working on your cash cushion as well. So in case we have, a little bit of a dip here and there, we are, squared away. Um, so let me ask you this. If you did have 1 or 2 months of business expenses saved, would that help ease some financial anxiety around maybe cancellations or end of the year slowdowns? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Having more money would reduce money problems. I mean, worry, stress. Yes, that
Right?
works really
Go
well for
figure. Funny
me.
how that works,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Right?
It's a
No,
dream.
I agree. I agree. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Appreciate that, Brandon.
I feel like I feel better, even though mine's only a one account. I know how much room I have, and I
Hmm.
do feel better about like just clients canceling or clinicians they need to take off or having to pay out paid time off. Like it definitely makes me feel less anxious.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Next, we just need to work on you, Erica, because I think we need those in a couple different accounts. You game?
Oh yeah, I know I need a couple different accounts.
Okay, good. Good. All right. So, like I say, is really just a mindset shift. Like I say, it's not really a money problem, it's just recognizing the patterns. Once again, business is up and down, life is up and down. And so, as you guys know, and what you do is up and down, so there are going to be some seasonal dips. But that's why we just want to make sure that you are recognizing those. When is this going to happen? And so then that way, as we're talking about, just being financially anxious, we're less financially anxious when we have a, better grasp of we're knowing this is happening. So let's, kind of plan for it ahead of time. And hey, let's be planning for this every month. That's why I say, hey, something as small as 5%, setting that aside, or, a few $100, each month, just kind of setting that aside. Um, so that you can be prepared. Of course, we want to focus on planning, not as much reacting. And then, just reframing the story because it's not about being broke. It's just one cash flow cycle, to the next. And as you guys know, that's why we always love the different, which is why we talked about them on here, having different revenue streams. That's powerful in and of itself. So yeah, so let's see. Ooh, so when business slows down, does anybody see it just as a temporary manageable thing, or do you get a lot more freaked out when those cancellations happen? Do you take it as just kind of a ebb and flow, or do you like, oh no, I really need to change some drastic?
I've noticed too much consistency in the
Mm-hmm.
last almost 4 or 5 years. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
my breaks usually come when I'm putting them in, like this summer, being in and out of town literally every other week.
Mm-hmm.
I got my quote unquote breaks from seeing clients while being out of town, but I was still busy doing other stuff. So it wasn't really a full on slowdown for the summer, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And then weeks like last week, I have more cancellations than I was used to seeing, and I have already seen those people reschedule their appointments. So I don't know if it's probably just a gift from God, grace break that I already needed. So and even right now, like I looked, and I need to go back and check my numbers. My most profitable month so far, I think, was, from what I've seen, was last month,
Mm-hmm.
September, which that's when my busy season starts for me, is like
Mm-hmm.
end of September through March. I've noticed that trend, like again, like I said, last 5 years easy, that
Mm-hmm.
usual
Mm-hmm.
trend. And so I'm not anticipating, not saying it can't happen, but I'm not anticipating much of a slowdown unless I am intentionally putting in those breaks and taking off. So I'm intrigued to see what happens when I hire people. The hardest part with hiring for me personally has been getting people to be willing to see those other people versus
Mm-hmm.
seeing me.
Nice. And as I mentioned, this is now the best time to look at those lines of credit after you've had some of your best months. That is the perfect time to do that. All right. So this week's money moves. One, review income patterns, unless you kind of already know them, like Anika just kind of mentioned, like, hey, she kind of knows her normal income patterns. How much is 1 month of expenses for you? Let's target to put that aside in our separate bank account. But then we have to go and open that separate bank account, right? And for most of you, it's still two bank accounts. Open up the tax bank account and then opening up a savings bank account for our profit cushion. Also applying for business credit. Start looking at some of those places I mentioned, Lendio, Blue Vine. Look at your own bank. See if your own bank has decent rates on a line of credit. And then especially if you're coming off of a really good strong period, that's when we need to kind of start looking at that. And then of course, as y'all know, share it in the community when y'all have wins to share with us, as we always love. So my question is, who is going to go and take action and open up their bank account or apply for their loan? Who can I get to be an action taker? Okay. All right, Anika. Brandon.
I can open up like another open an account, at least like a sub account. Like I think Blue Vine offers like sub accounts, so I can probably open up like a savings
Nice.
one.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Erica. Yes. Erica, you need a couple. You need your tax account and a profit account
Also,
or
Blue Vine
profit
messing up
profit
right now. What's
cushion.
going on with Blue Vine?
And then actually, yeah, that's right, Brandon. Yeah, you do bank at Blue Vine because they're the ones I mentioned for lines of credit too.
Okay, well,
So look at their lines of credits too. Do I recommend the same bank for the bank accounts? Actually, I kind of like it. Unless you are a person who can't stand to see it and don't want to know it exists and just move it over and it doesn't exist. Um, you know me, I'm a numbers person. I like seeing it all. So I want it in a separate account because I have mine in a separate account, but I like seeing it when I log into my platform. Like, hey, this is how much I really got to work with, but hey, here's my savings here that I could see that I'm not touching. You know what I mean? Or hey, here's how much I'm putting aside for my taxes. So I don't mind the same bank. But if you want to open up a different one, I don't mind either. To me, it's just as long as you have as long as you have it there. Um, Miss Kendra, what are you doing? We need a new bank account, right?
Uh, no, I actually opened up the tax account like 2 weeks ago. I forgot to share that at the very beginning. So I have the tax account, the savings, and the regular checking. I guess I'll try for the business line of credit.
Yes, at least start looking into those.
Okay.
Because like I say, when you don't need it is when you need to be looking at it, just to have that extra cushion. Good job for you, Kendra. Way to be an action taker.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, I hope this was helpful. Appreciate you guys as always. And remember, the sooner you get to your dream practice, the longer you get to enjoy it. And we're here to help you every step of the way. Y'all have a blessed Monday. Bye, y'all.
Thanks.